Hi guys, and welcome to my mobility series. So this is my splits mobility video. We're going to be looking at really lengthening into the areas of the body that are needed for your front split. So this is going to be specifically the front splits, so Hanumanasana in yoga, or your front splits in any other form of movements that you do. So we're going to be focusing a lot into the front of the thighs, into the hamstrings, into the pelvis, and we're also going to be looking to strengthen those areas as well. So it's really important that we don't just use passive flexibility, but we're building stability within all of the stretches and the movements that we're doing today at our end range. So grab yourself 1 to 2 blocks if you have them. If not, some books or anything to prop yourself up with will be great. And I'd also ask if you can grab yourself a pair of socks, just a pair of socks for you. Amazing, and I hope you enjoy. So when you've got your blocks, your socks, just pop them to the side for me. And I want you just to come to a standing position. And I want us just to begin by doing a little bit of a march. So what this is going to do is it's going to start to get all of the body a little bit warmer. And we're going to just start to walk around, maybe give the arms a little bit of a shake. Start to get a little bit of the movement into the body, and maybe even start to shake the legs, start to shake the hips. So I like to do this for a lot of my classes. And again, you can kind of shake or do anything that you need. Try and make everything jiggle. And this just gets a lot of the fascial tissue nice and warm. It also just gets everything going a little bit into the body, gets the breath moving. You're probably going to feel after this that you might be a little bit out of breath. And that's good. It's going to get the heart rate up. A little bit longer. Woo! Get everything shaking on out. If you don't feel stupid doing this, then you're not doing it enough. That's what I like to say. You want to imagine that you're going to stop traffic or stop people in the street. They're watching you do it, and amazing, come to a little stop. And from here, we're just going to come to the front of your mat. Ooh, so you should feel everything should be a little bit warmer. You should feel the blood pumping a little bit more. And then from here, I want you to come to a hips width distance with your feet. Plant down through the soles of the feet. And we're just going to inhale, take the arms nice and high. From here, interlace your hands, draw the backs of your hands up toward the sky, squeeze the biceps in towards the ears. Take a big breath in, and then I want you to slowly draw the hands back, place them onto the back of the head, and just connect now the nape of your neck, or the top of your neck with your hands. And in this position, I want you to feel how pressing that head into your palms begins to really activate a little bit into the shoulders. It should also begin to activate a little bit into your belly, into the back. Good. The abdominals should begin to engage. You might even feel that the legs are starting to work a little bit. We're starting to just activate all the way down that posterior chain. And then from here, keeping this activation into the hands, I want you to slowly curl forward, all the way down. Again, keep the feet firmly pressing into the floor. Release your hands. Good. Take a gentle bend and then ripple back up. And we're going to do that again. We're going to inhale. Interlace the fingers, press them into the head and begin to roll down. Good. Really nice. Try and go as far as you can. If you're stuck here, that's fine. Just really keep that activation into the back of the hands. Unravel as far as you can. Lift through the sit bones. Keep the lower belly pulling up and away from the thighs. And then release and unravel back up. Good, a couple more times. I really know I need a haircut when I start to stand on my hair in these forward folds. Good. A few more times. Now from here, just allow yourself to release. I want the hands to drop onto the ground, flat down. If you can't reach the floor, grab your blocks. Place your hands on blocks at any height. And from here, I want you to begin to bend your knees until your belly is touching your thighs. Wonderful. Now from here, all I want you to do, keep the head nice and low. And we're just going to start to gently pulse the legs. So just bouncing the knees up and down. Good. And I want you to slowly make this, keeping the belly in contact with the top of your thighs, so the abdominals or the chest are touching the quadriceps or the front of your thighs here. Good. And even maybe try lifting the toes off so you're really active into the ankles. Good. A few more times. And then slowly extend those hips. Try and draw the chest as far down as you can. Try and lengthen the legs as much as you can without losing this connection. Good. Release the head, release the neck. And then bend the knees, unravel all the way back up to a standing position. Good. Give the body a little bit of a shake. We're going to do that again. We're going to inhale. Roll all the way down. Feeling the back body begin to lengthen. Draw up through the belly. Bend the knees. This time, instead of touching the ground, I want you to take hold of the backs of your legs. So you can cross, hug yourself. Like I said, if you're here and you're having to bend the knees as much as you can, or you're really trying to grab as much as you can, but you can't connect, you can even place a block in between the belly and your thighs, which will just prop or create some form of tension or connection between your stomach and the thighs. And from here, same thing. I want you to now keep hold of those legs and try and lengthen the body as much as you can. So you may only be here, and that's fine. I just want you to begin to feel that length. And we're just going to bend and extend those legs, those knees. Just lifting and lowering the legs. Good. Lifting and lowering the pelvis, the butt. And maybe trying to get a little bit further each time. A little bit further down. Good. Really slowly activating here. And then we're going to lift to our highest place. And I want you to press that chest in to your thighs as much as you can. Now, if you have a block by here, you might be like this. You might be squeezing that block in, and that's really good. Now, everyone, I want you to imagine that you have something in between your thighs. And I want you to let go of your hands. And I want you to hold that block with just your chest. Good. We're going to breathe here. Lengthen those legs up as much as you can. Keep breathing. Really nice. If you haven't got the block there, try and get your chest in contact with your thighs. Keep pulling in. Maybe even try and get the head in between the legs. One more breath. Good. And then bend the knees, remove the block if it's there. Good. From here, we're going to plant the hands down onto the blocks or off. And we're just going to step the feet back. And we're going to come into our plank position. Now, in this position, tuck your tailbone very gently. Pull your lower belly up. And feel the weight travel down your arms from your shoulders directly into your wrists. So you want to have the shoulders stacked over your wrists here. And all I want you to do is to begin to slowly release back and forward. So we're just going to start to get a little bit of movement into the legs, into the hips. Be really careful that you're not leaving the butt in the air and arching into the back. We don't want this. We're really keeping a rounding into the lower spine, really energizing up through the abdominals. Shift back and forth. Really nice. You're going to feel this into your feet as well, into your ankles, everything. Try and send those heels towards the back of your mat, lengthening into your shins, lengthening into your calves. One more breath. Hold into your plank. Now from here, we're going to lower the knees, shift yourself back, and then I want you to drag through and lower down to a modified chaturanga onto your belly. Modified press up. Good. From here, very slowly lift up through the lower abdominals. So you're drawing the abdominals away from the floor, pressing the tops of the feet down. So you can almost see that my legs are fully extended here. Drag your shoulders or shrug your shoulders down your back and just lift up through the upper chest. Very small. We're not doing a full cobra here. We're just staying lifted. Nice. Now in this position, I want you to keep your knees in contact. Draw your chest up, your hips are lifting, and then send your glutes forward. So you're engaging your glutes forward and into the ground. Good. Now, if this is comfortable for you, press down through the tops of the toes and lift those knees off the ground. Draw your chest towards or through your arms so we're not collapsing or overly rounding. Draw that chest through. Keep those thighs lifting up and away from the floor. Engage here. Feel that lovely opening through the belly, through the hips. Tap the toes, press back up, and into your down dog. We're going to do that again. So we're going to ripple forward. This is just warming everything up. You can lower down through your floor or your modified chaturanga. Lift up into a baby cobra. Lift the hips up. Press down through the tops of the feet. Lift the thighs. Breathe. Good. And then ripple back into your downward facing dog. And last time. Really nice. We're going to ripple forward. Breathe here. Now in this position, we're going to lower down through our full chaturanga. Hold. Maybe lift up straight away into our upward dog. Feel that engagement through the front of the thighs. We'll be opening into the hips. Breathe here before tucking the toes and pressing back into our downward facing dog. Now remember there, guys, you can take any modification. So if you need to keep those knees on the floor the whole time, you keep them down. If you want to go straight into your full vinyasas, you do your full vinyasas. Really nice. From here, we're going to lift up onto the toes. I want you to ground down strongly through that left foot. So you're sending that left heel towards the ground. And I want you just to lift the right leg up in line with your hips. We're not thinking of full lift yet, just in line with your hip. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And all I want you to do is to slowly lift up onto the toe of the left leg and squeeze that heel back down. Lift up and lower it down. So we're really working into the ankle a little bit here, but we're also actively engaging the back of that leg. Good, one more breath. Now, ground through that left heel, and now we're going to try and start to lift that right leg high. Now, what I don't want to see happen is a big arch to appear into your pelvis, or a big arch into that lower back. Press away through the arms. Keep your cheeks in line with your inner arm or your bicep, and we're going to send the back of that leg up. Keep lifting it up as far as you can. Squeeze the inner thighs together, and we're just going to pulse that leg for 5, for 4. I don't care where you are, how high that leg is, for 3, for 2, good, for 1. We're going to draw that knee forward, and we're going to extend it back. Good, we're going to draw it forward, and we're going to extend it back. Good, we're going to draw it forward, we're going to extend it back. 3 more movements, draw it forward, extend it back. Good, maybe trying to get a little bit higher each time. Last time, draw it forward, hold at the top, breathe here. Keep pulling that lower belly in, keep sending that left heel to the ground, and then release that leg down. Good, we're going to do the other side. Ground down through that right foot now. Send the heel towards the floor, and we're just going to lift that left leg up and in line with the hips, or as high as you can go. And I just want you to lift up onto the toe of that right leg and release. Now again, make a note of your shoulders. Are you collapsing? Have you travelled forward? Are you sending your chest so far back that you're overextending into your shoulder joint? Press away, draw the biceps in towards the cheeks so you're really strong in your foundation here to be able to just focus into your legs. Get a few more times, ground that right heel down, and then draw that left leg up as much as you can. Again, try not to arch. Keep lifting up through the lower belly, space in that right hip. Good, and then from here we're going to lift that the left knee forward, and we're going to extend it back. Good, we're going to lift it forward, the left knee, and then extend it back. And again, and extend it back. Draw it forward, and extend it back. Good, one more time, draw it forward. Extend it back, hold here. Send that leg as high as you can. Good, and then release it down. Put the knees onto the floor. Take a little child's pose, just release out of the arms. Fantastic. Allow the forehead to drop. So your legs should be feeling a little bit warmer now. We should have got the muscles nice and active. Really good. And then from here we're going to place the hands onto the floor. We're going to ripple forward. Again, find your hands and knees. And from here, tuck the toes, move back into your downward facing dog. Send, press away through the ground one more time. Now from here, I want you to extend your right leg up. Again, actively lift it, extend through that knee. Really engage the whole of the leg. Press away like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to lift up onto the toe, ripple forward, draw the knee as close into your chest as you can. And we're going to try and step it in between the hands. Good. Now from here, walk your fingers forward. If you need, place them onto blocks. And gently, I want you to send your front leg or your front knee in line or over your ankles. You're going to come into a arrow lunge or a prop lunge with your blocks. Nice. Now from here, we're just going to lower the back knee. I want you to reach your hands up towards the sky, and we're just going to spiral them back and place them over your hips. Now from here, scoop up through your belly. Send your glutes forward. So we're taking a little thrust of the pelvis here. And I want you just to begin to move those hips as far forward as you can. Now don't worry if that front knee is going over your toes a little bit. That doesn't matter as long as there's no pain in the knee and there's no pain in your ankle. If you're feeling anything, make that lunge a little bit wider. Don't collapse. We're not arching into the back. I really want you to imagine you've got a little posterior tilt here. And we're just going to really open into that front hip. Really nice. Keep drawing up through the belly. One more. And then we're going to place the hands down. Now from here, keep your hips low and try and extend that leg off the ground. Good. Lower it down to hover and extend it away. Lower it down. Good. Extend it away. If you want to make this a bit more challenging, take your arms off. Lower it down. Extend it away. Suddenly you feel this leg kicking in. Reach the arms up and lean forward. Draw it down. Extend it away. Pull the lower belly in. Drop it down. Extend it away. One more breath. Hold. And then lift all the way up and into your high lunge. Good. Shorten the stance if you need. Again, one more time, bring your hips or your hands to your hips. From here, we're just going to slowly lunge down and up. Trying to straighten that front leg, lunge down and up. Again, really feeling the opening in that back thigh. And while we're extending this front leg, we're beginning to activate into that front glute. Good, so you should begin to really feel an activity through the legs here. You can even place your finger in your hip crease and you're trying to stop your pelvis from collapsing and squashing your fingers, okay? That's a really nice indication as to where your hips are or what position your pelvis is moving into. 2 more times. Woo. Good, we're going to hold our big lunge and then from here we're going to release the hands down and I want you to try and straighten that front leg out. Fantastic. Now, we have a couple of options. Now, you may feel like you're like this a little bit in this position if you're a little bit newer to the splits or have slightly less mobility in your legs, and that's absolutely fine. All I want you to do is to take your blocks as high as you can. You can even use a wall or something next to you. And we're just going to try and straighten those legs out as much as you can, lifting your chest, engaging here. And all I want you to do is to find a space where you're lengthening your legs, you're creating this stretch to the back of the thigh, this engagement into the glute, and we're going to try and hover the hands off, and we're going to hold here. And you're really going to feel that glute muscle working, the legs are working, the belly's pulling up, and we're nice and active in this position. Try not to be too rounded with the back. So you want to have a nice neutral line with your spine, okay? Now if you have more mobility, we're going to start to shimmy those legs out. And again, I want you just to take it as far as you feel good. This is not the full split yet. We're going to your level of stretch in your hamstring, okay? And from here, again, the same thing. Keep the heel on the ground or the full foot, whichever feels most comfortable. And we're going to try and draw the hands off. Again, you're going to really feel that front leg working. Make sure that back leg is nice and extended, and you can even take it a little bit further if you can. Find that balance. Play with it, okay? We're really beginning to just try and hold it for a few counts. Put your hands back on the blocks. Hold it for a few counts. Hands back on the blocks. Beginning to work a little bit more actively into that front leg. If you feel anything into the knee, I want you to back out and come a little bit more narrow until you begin to build the strength into your legs and the full extension of that thigh or of the knee joint, okay? Good. From here, slowly draw the legs back in, bend the knees and lower the back leg onto the floor. We're going to lengthen that front leg out now and we're going to work a little bit more into your hamstring. So, plant your hands onto the blocks, Stay nice and long with your spine. And all I want you to do is try and lift that front leg up and off. Good. Now from here, we're going to draw it through. We're going to extend it back. Play a little game. We're going to lift it forward, squeeze it, and extend. Draw it through, extend it back, draw it through, and extend. Now, if you can't, you're like, Aurora, what are you getting me to do? Don't worry. If you can only lift it a tiny bit, I want you to lift it and then drag it through as much as you can. Drag, 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 drag. Extend it back, and then lift. Same thing here. Drag, 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 drag. Pull it through. Use the hand if you need. And then try and lift it again. And we're just going to do that for 5 times, okay? So we're going to lift, drag it through, extend it back, lift it forward, squeeze. Another 4. Good. Really nice. 3. 2. Good. And 1. Woo. Good. Release that leg down. From here, we're going to bend that front knee, send that back hip a little bit closer into the ground and tuck the toes. So you've got a little bit of activation now into that knee. And from here, I want you to try and lengthen that front leg out as much as you can. So we're going to come into a full variation of our splits now. So from here, the back knee is on the ground, the front leg is nice and straight, and you've got your hands firmly on some blocks. From this position, I want you to tuck the back toe, lift that knee off the floor. So now suddenly we're a lot more active into the legs. And from here, we're going to bend the arms till we hover off the ground. Even if you can get flat, stay lifted, keep lifting up through that back knee, and then we're going to lift up. We're going to lower down, and now I want you to use your legs to squeeze up. Good. 3 more, lower down, squeeze up. Now if you're here, and you're like, Aurora, I ain't going down. Doesn't matter. You literally can drop an inch and then squeeze. You could be here and just try and lower down a tiny bit more and then squeeze up. Lower down, squeeze up. Wherever you are, okay? Last time, lower down, hold at your lowest point, lifting and extending through both legs like you're trying to touch the end and the front of the mat at the same time. And then we're going to slowly release into your maximum place. So whether that's full splits or whether that is a lifted variation, we're going to come here. From this position, allow the blocks to release up to the side. If you're flat, if you still need them, keep them under your hands, okay? And we're going to start to work our front body down and over that front leg into a little bit of a forward fold. Again, if you are higher up, I want you to lower the back knee onto the ground, work your hands down as far forward as you can, and then in the same way, try and extend that leg up and off the ground. Even if it doesn't fully lift, even if it doesn't fully extend, we're starting to try and work more into that back hip. Good. So hold here. Really nice. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can even take a block maybe underneath the front leg. You can place it on any height that you want, maybe working a little bit more into the underneath of the leg, into your over splits. Breathing here. And then slowly we're going to ripple back up. Really nice. Remove the block from under your foot if you can. If you want to push yourself, try keeping it there, but I would recommend taking it off for the moment. And from here, we're going to slowly, if you're flat, I just want you to kick your heel up and down. If you're not flat, stay and hold for another 5 counts. More actively now, lifting your butt away from the floor. So here we're just going to lift that heel in and out. Draw it in and out. Now I really want to squeeze it in, so we're not just kicking uncontrollably. I want you to think about squeezing it in and out. Keep pulling the lower belly up. We're not overly arching here. Squeeze it in and out. You should feel those glutes active the whole time. So we're like drawing our sit bones together, squeezing our pelvic floor like we're trying to draw our hips up towards the sky. One more time. Lift, hold, release it down. Fantastic. And then from here, just draw that front leg towards the front of the mat. Take a gentle bend. Lovely. Place the hands onto the ground and just lift the hips up and down, opening a little bit through the front of the body, lifting it up and down. Good. One more time, lifting it up and down. Good. From here, we're going to move on to the other side, and then we're going to take a little some sliding work, which is going to help to give you some different techniques to use in your splits. So, from here, I want you to cross the feet. We're going to roll forward over your ankles, your shins, and step yourself back into your downward facing dog. Good, find that same position again. Reach through the toes, reach through the arms, draw your heels towards the ground. And then from here, we're going to extend the left leg up. This time, try and feel now a little bit more of a length through that right thigh, that right hamstring. And then we're going to draw that knee forward, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it in. And we're going to step the foot in between the hands. Take your blocks, place them either side of that foot. Lovely. And then from here, I just want you to slowly bend that back knee and place it onto the floor. And tap the toes, circle the arms up and round. And again, the same way, we're going to send those hips forward. And I want you to begin to really open up now through that right hip into that lovely front of the hip flexor. Whew, just breathing here. Good. Really nice. Keep that gentle tilt of the tailbone. Good. And then releasing the hands down, we're going to tuck the toes. Now from here, keep that opening, and all I want you to do is to lift that back knee off, find that full extension of the back leg, and lower it down. Lift it up, lower it down. So as you're doing this, you're going to feel the glutes engaging, the hamstrings engaging. Everything is working. Good. Lift it up, lower it down. 2 more. Lift it up, lower it down. And last time, lift it up. Hold here. If you can either maybe try and lift the arms or come into a forward-reaching lunge, full extension of that right knee. Good. And then we're going to draw ourselves up and into our high lunge. And now we're going to do the same thing. Bend that front knee forward. Keep drawing that right leg. So we're going to have a tendency to want to release that knee, especially if we're not allowing the spine to arch. So we're trying to keep that little tug, trying to keep that engagement of the glutes, and then we're really trying to find a full extension into that back leg. In as a killer, you can really feel the front of the thigh working and lengthening. Good. 2 more breaths. Really nice. Whew. And then from here, we're going to release those hands back down. From this position, I want you to slowly start to lengthen that front leg out. And in the same way here, I want you to try, if you're in this position, I want you to try and just lift the arms up and down, maintaining that neutrality into the pelvis. So we're really thinking, not dropping through the ribs or closing or opening through the front body, but knitting the ribs together, pulling the belly button up into spine, and maintaining this length. Again, don't overly round either. So you want to have a nice long back. Hold here. Again, if you want to go a little bit further, you can. Maybe trying to lengthen, really actively working through that leg. Maybe even trying to draw the hands up and down. Good. Whew, hello. Glute. Good. We're really active here. Maybe one more time, squeezing the inner thighs together, trying to lift those hands up and release them down. And then from here, we're going to slowly bend that front knee, release that back leg down, and untuck the toes. Good. From here, I want you to draw that front leg straight, and we're coming into our Ardha Hanuman position. From here, I want you to slowly draw your blocks a little bit higher if you need. We're going to lift the leg up, draw it back through, and extend it behind us. Lift it forward, good, and forward. Draw it back through. If you want, you can challenge yourself by taking the blocks a little lower. This is going to be really hard to squeeze. Keep that leg lifted, draw it through, behind, extend, lift, squeeze, extend. One more. Whew. Good. Lift, squeeze, lift, and and then release it down. Fantastic. From here, again, keep the blocks next to you. We're going to ripple forward, and I want you to send that back leg or that back hip as far into the ground as you can. So we are allowing the hip to now open a little bit, but we're going to tuck that back toe, and I want you to try and lift that leg off the ground. So we are quite far down now into the split, into the stretch. From here, I want you to try and straighten that front leg as much as you can. And we're going to try and squeeze our way down, sliding slowly in and towards our split. Again, if we can get all the way down, use the blocks, lift about an inch off the ground, squeeze the inner thighs. So we're working to maybe even try and hold, but without collapsing. So we have that strength into our legs, holding and releasing down, yeah? If you're a bit higher up, no, don't worry. So we're here. You can extend that back leg. Try and work to draw both legs straight. So it's similar to what we did before, but this time we're allowing ourselves to lower down and then squeeze up. So we're now lowering down and then squeezing up. So we're actively lifting out of any position we have. Lowering down, squeeze up. Lowering down, whoo, squeeze up. This is prepping us for one exercise I've got coming up. Squeeze up last time. Lowering down, turn tuck that back toe. And again, come into your full variation of your Hanuman. So, if you are flat, I want you to begin to release over that front leg. Try and send the head down towards the ground, reaching along through both legs. Again, you can prop up that front leg or that front ankle if that's comfortable for you. If you're a little bit higher up, not a problem. Just come back into that active hold, using the blocks a little bit more here, and try and draw the chest down and over that front leg. Even if you're here, even if you have to take a slight bend into the knee, just to support at the moment, straighten as much as you can, but this is about how it feels and not about how it looks. If you're in your full split, try and draw that front hip of the right leg in towards the ground. So you're squaring the hips a little bit more for me here. Draw the belly up. Wonderful. And then begin to work your way back up and into a seated position. Wherever you are, hold for another 5 counts, or if you can, begin to draw that hip in and back. Squeeze the heel in and back. Squeeze the heel in and back. And in for another 3. In and back. In and back. Squeeze, hold, hold. And then release it down. Shift onto that right leg. Whew. Draw that thigh forward and just give the legs a little bit of a shake here. Fantastic work. So from here, we're just going to take a little forward fold. So I want you to begin to release your chest forward. Now, if you're a little bit tighter in your forward fold, I want you to take a block underneath your hips. And I also want you to take a block or something underneath your belly to thigh, because I want to encourage you to begin to release the belly onto something. So what this is going to stop is this kind of hanging and rounding into the upper back, and instead it's going to encourage you to allow the chest to drop down. So whether it's a pillow, whether it's something underneath or in between your chest and your thighs, I want you just to allow yourself to release forward and over this item, okay? And it's just going to release a little bit of the pressure as well into your mid-back, so you're a little bit more supported. Now in this position, plant your hands on the floor, and I want you just to begin to activate your heels towards the ground. So you're pressing down like you're trying to press a button with your heel underneath the mat. You're pushing it down, and you're going to feel the legs and the backs of the legs begin to really activate. You might even feel a little bit of a squeeze into the calves, the hamstrings. If you're super mobile and you have a lot of opening into your hamstrings, you can do the same thing here in your full forward fold, pressing down, maybe releasing the forehead towards the shins. Good. Now keep this activation and try and raise the arms up and forward. So now we're creating a length through the spine. Press down. Keep this activation for another 5. Pressing as hard as you can with your heels for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Fantastic. We're going to ripple up. Plant your hands next to your legs. And now, if you need, again, you can use blocks into the palms if this makes it a little bit easier. Otherwise, plant your hands down, and we're going to try and draw your legs up and off the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, good, 6, 5, keep the weight forward, 4, 3, pull the lower belly in, 2, 1, whew. And release it down. Fantastic work, guys. Set your blocks aside. We're going to come forward, and I want you to unroll your mat, or roll your mat away, and we're going to use our socks on a nice slidey floor here. So if you haven't got a slidey floor, you can grab a carpet or something. You can maybe use some plates, some plastic or paper plates work quite well. Anything that will create a lack of resistance. Here we're going to pop our socks on. So this is the final little exercise that I like to add in. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some slides with our splits, okay? So what I want you to do is, if you're super tight, I want you to get maybe two chairs, something that's very stable that you can really put your weight into. And you're going to begin by doing these exercises, but from a higher point. Okay, so if you're really quite tight and you can only maybe open up to about here, I want your hands to be at that level. Okay, so I don't want this to be with the legs bent. If you have got a little bit more of a level of mobility, you can use your blocks, and we're going to place them onto the floor. Again, you can take any height, just make sure that they're quite mobile. So if you've got foam blocks, they're not the best, mainly because they're a little bit less stable. We need to be able to put lots of weight into these for you. Now from here, we're going to take our right leg forward. We're going to slide it down. Again, keep the weight into the hands. Allow yourself to release all the way into your split, or as far down as you can. Plant the hands down and then squeeze the legs all the way together. From here, we're going to try and change all the way down. And we're going to squeeze back up. And we're just going to do this for about 3 times. And maybe try and get a little bit of speed with this. Squeeze the thighs together. And if you're finding it very easy, try and use less of your hands and more of your legs. So it's the squeeze of the inner thighs that lifts. So it's almost as if you want to try and do this without your hands on the floor. I'm not going to demo that because I can't, but there will be someone out there that can. And when you can, please send me a video because I'd love to see it. Draw those thighs up. Good. One more time. Draw them together. Whew. And just release the legs from side to side. Fantastic. Step your blocks apart away. Take hold of a wall or something like this. Just going to allow the legs to just circle out. Feel a little bit of release. And then from here, make sure there's nothing behind you. We're just going to take some gentle swings of that front leg. Try and keep the leg nice and long. But we're just allowing the leg to release the blood to come back in. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Just drawing it forward and back. Maybe trying to kick a little bit higher. But really be aware of that supporting leg here. So you're not allowing it to buckle forward. We're trying to stay nice and long into that left or right leg. Good. If you want to just take a little bit more relaxed, just a gentle swing, you can. Come back into the center of the mat. Really good. Just ease out through the toes. Really nice. And then from here, just take a gentle release forward. Allow the legs to drop. Allow the knees to release. Just feel this wonderful length all the way through the back of the body. Ripple up. Place your hands on the hips. Draw the chest high. Send the chest forward. Engage the glutes away from your hands. Opening through the hips. Lifting up. And then come back into a standing position. I So I hope you enjoyed my splits workout there. This is a free taster to what is going to be in store if you purchase my full splits foundation program. Again, it's going to be working from beginners all the way up to more advanced variations and progressions throughout different levels. So keep an eye out over the next. That's going to be released middle of next month for you to purchase. If you are interested, subscribe to my YouTube and subscribe to my Instagram, my social media, or just subscribe to my mailing list on my website, and all of the information will be sent on as soon as it is ready and it is uploaded. So have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much.